So you think you found your dream home. Problem is, you still need to sell the one you're in. So do you make an offer or just wait? Real estate expert Monte Mohr is joining us today to give us some advice. Monte, welcome back to the show.
Great to be here.
All right, it's always great having you. You're always giving us advice for folks who write in and ask you questions. Today's no different. Lonnie from Murfreesboro writes in, and he says, we would like to sell our home and buy another one, but we do not want to own two homes at the same time. Makes sense. Now, can you tell us the best way to go about doing this? Do we put a contingent offer on the new one before ours sells? What would you say?
Well, I'd say great question, Lonnie. I do hear this quite often. It's not uncommon for someone to be concerned about this situation. What I've learned over the years, though, it's much easier to buy a home, find one to buy, than it is to sell one. We want to put our majority of our focus on selling his property. Now, when we start getting feedback, Casey, that indicates we're in the top three, what I call it is a bridesmaid. If we know we're the bridesmaid, we know we're going to be the bride eventually. At that point, we want to go out and start looking at property. The goal at that point is to find the top three. You know, what I insist, especially the woman, do is, look, we're going to go out and date. We're not going to fall in love. We're going to go out there and find some good options, but we're not going to put our heart into it yet.
Right.
We do not want to put a contingent offer or anything yet, though.
Okay, so make that up before you get into it.
Yes.
All right, I like that analogy. Okay, the next one comes from Jennifer from Nashville. She asked, now 2 months ago we accepted an offer from a couple from Indiana to purchase our home, and we knew their home would have to sell first before they could close on ours, but our agent assured us that we could take other offers from other buyers as our home would remain active on the market. Since accepting that contingent offer on our home has not been shown at all. Can you tell us why? We really need to sell, so please help us.
Well, Jennifer, I'm sorry to say that what's happened is, since your home is under contract contingent upon the sale of another home, it's an MLS requirement that your home be highlighted in yellow. So what happens is when an agent sits down at their computer and types in the ingredients that would pull up your home, there's probably 20 or 25 or however many homes that come up in that search results. But because we have so many to pick from, we immediately eliminate anything highlighted in yellow. And that's why, in my opinion, it's not good as a seller. As a seller, it seems innocent enough, you know, to accept a contingent offer. You're going to keep yours on the market. But when agents have so many to pick from, we eliminate any of them that we think are going to be difficult to sell or that our buyers can't buy. It's just so, unfortunately, what we have done in that case is we've put our eggs in another basket. And this basket is Indiana, for instance. So we don't know what the market's like there. So my recommendation is do not, as a seller, accept a contingent offer.
Okay. Good things to know. All right, Stephanie in Franklin also wrote in, and she says, we're ready to put our home on the market, but before we do, I want to go find our next home. My husband says we need to sell ours first, but I'm afraid we will sell ours and then not have anywhere to live. So what would you advise them?
Well, Stephanie, I feel your concern there. And, you know, every woman especially wants to know where we can build that next nest. But here's what happens. We go out there and write a contingent offer on another home. As a seller, the seller's not going to negotiate the best deal because at that point we're a wannabe buyer. We're not a real buyer. And so we're going to end up, as that buyer, we're going to end up paying more. We're going to write a contingent offer for more than what the seller probably would have sold for if we were a real buyer. And then when we go back to list our home and it doesn't sell after a while and somebody makes a lowball offer, we end up taking it because we're afraid of losing the other one. Because the fear of loss is a greater motivator in that case. So we end up paying more than what we should, and we end up taking less than what we should on the other one. Now, don't get me wrong, if it's the dream home, it's the best home in the world, then you do what you need to do to get it. But I don't recommend contingent offers at all. Let's get your home sold first, and then we'll go out and buy one.
Great advice, and you're always helping people out, which is why we have some happy customers
we do.
to
We
meet
got
today.
some great
Three
examples.
couples.
Some great examples. This first one is BJ and Kara. They were concerned just like Stephanie just said, but we went out and once we started getting the positive feedback, we laid out, you know, a guideline as far as what possible homes were available out there. Then when we did get the contract, we went out and bought their next home and their dream home.
All right.
They were patient.
Alan and Bridget here?
Alan and Bridget, same way. Now, Alan's a little more detailed. What we did with his property is he wanted plenty of time to search. He looked at a lot of homes. We got theirs sold, and then they moved in temporary housing until they found their next home.
All right. And lastly, Brent and Sharon.
Brent and Sharon, same situation. They were able to size down because they followed my instructions. They only looked at homes with in mind we're going to find a top three. And I want to remind everybody, if you're looking for a hard-working realtor who has your best interest at heart, 300-8393 is my direct line.
Thank you so much, Monte. Hey, if you need help buying or selling your home, call the Mohr Group at 615-376-4500, or to reach Monte directly, call 615-300-8393. We also have a link to the website NashvilleRealEstateAdvisor.com on the More at Midday section of WSMV.com.